It was a chilly autumn night, and the moon hid behind a thick layer of clouds that seemed to swallow the small town of Hollow Creek. At the heart of the town stood Hollow High, an imposing structure with a history as dark as the secrets it harbored within its walls. As the clock struck midnight, a group of unsuspecting high school students found themselves drawn to the eerie mysteries that lurked within the abandoned halls of the school. Among the group were Jake, the adventurous daredevil; Emma, the studious girl with a penchant for the supernatural; Mike, the jock who dared anyone to question his bravery; and Lily, the quiet artist who always seemed to sense things others couldn't. They gathered at the rusted gates of Hollow High, armed with flashlights and nerves of steel, unaware of the chilling events that awaited them. As they stepped inside the darkened school, a cold wind whispered through the corridors, carrying with it the echoes of laughter long forgotten. The air seemed to thicken as they ventured deeper, the only sound being the creaking floorboards beneath their hesitant footsteps. The flickering lights above cast eerie shadows that danced on the walls like specters of the past. "Guys, this is crazy," Emma whispered, her flashlight trembling in her hand. "We shouldn't be here," Jake scoffed, his bravado overshadowing any sense of fear. "Come on, Em. This is the thrill of a lifetime. Imagine the stories we'll have to tell." They reached the abandoned auditorium, its faded red curtains hanging like ghostly reminders of performances long gone. As they explored further, Lily's keen eyes caught a glimpse of movement in the corner of the stage. She gasped, alerting the others. "Did you guys see that?" Lily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Mike chuckled, dismissing her concerns. "Probably just a rat or something. Stop freaking out, Lily." But the uneasy feeling lingered as they continued their exploration. Strange whispers echoed through the hallways, and the temperature seemed to drop with each step. As they entered the old library, Emma's eyes widened at the sight of dusty books and faded portraits lining the shelves. Legend had it that decades ago, tragedy had struck Hollow High. A group of students had disappeared mysteriously, leaving behind a haunting legacy. Some believed their spirits still roamed the corridors, seeking closure for the injustice they suffered. Emma pulled out a tattered journal she had found in the library. Its pages contained cryptic symbols and sketches of ominous figures. The group gathered around as she read a passage aloud. "The shadows of Hollow High are cursed, restless souls trapped in a realm between the living and the dead. They crave release, and only those who dare to face their darkest fears can free them." Sudden chill ran down their spines as the room plunged into darkness. Panic set in, and flashlights darted in every direction. The air felt thick, suffocating, as if unseen eyes were watching their every move. In the pitch-black darkness, they heard the echoes of distant laughter, whispers growing louder with each passing moment. Lily's artistic intuition sensed a presence, and she traced the outlines of a ghostly figure with her trembling fingers. "I can feel them," Lily whispered. "They're here." As their flashlights flickered back to life, the group discovered they were no longer alone. Shadowy figures surrounded them, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly intensity. The room seemed to warp and twist, reality bending as the spirits manifested before their eyes. Fear gripped the group, and they realized the legends were true. The shadows sought to share their pain, their anguish, and the only way to free them was to confront the darkness within themselves. One by one, the high school students faced their deepest fears, reliving past traumas and confronting the ghosts of their own making. The spirits, in turn, became more tangible, their features transforming from menacing silhouettes to faces etched with sorrow. As the final member confronted their fear, a blinding light enveloped the room. The shadows retreated, their wails echoing into the abyss. The once haunted Hollow High fell silent, the curse lifted by the courage of those who dared to venture into the heart of darkness. The group emerged from the school, their faces pale and eyes haunted by the horrors they had witnessed. Hollow High stood as a silent witness to the terrors of its past, but now, its halls echoed with the faint whispers of gratitude from the freed spirits. As they walked away from the ominous structure, the first light of dawn painted the horizon. The town of Hollow Creek woke to a new day, oblivious to the supernatural events that had transpired within the depths of its high school. The once abandoned building stood silent, its secrets locked away once more, waiting for the next curious souls to awaken the shadows that lurked within. Ravenwood High, nestled at the edge of a dense forest, had always been shrouded in an air of mystery. Rumors of strange occurrences and ghostly apparitions had surrounded the school for years, but it was during a fateful Halloween night that a group of friends decided to uncover the truth. The group consisted of Alex, the charismatic leader, Sarah, the witty and adventurous girl, Mark, the skeptical yet good-natured guy, and Lisa, the bookish and intuitive friend who had read about the school's eerie history. Intrigued by the stories of a phantom piano playing haunting melodies in the abandoned music hall, they gathered at the imposing gates of Ravenwood High, each armed with a sense of curiosity and a flashlight. The moon cast an eerie glow over the silent courtyard as they entered the school. The ancient oaks that surrounded Ravenwood whispered secrets of the past, their branches creating skeletal patterns against the night sky. The air was thick with a chilling breeze that seemed to carry with it the whispers of long-forgotten voices. Their first destination was the music hall, a grand structure with windows shattered by time and ivy reclaiming its walls. As they stepped inside, the temperature dropped, and the distant sound of a piano reached their ears. The group exchanged nervous glances as the haunting melody echoed through the halls. "It's just a recording, right?" Mark suggested, attempting to ease the tension. Lisa, however, shook her head. "No one has played that piano in decades. It's said to be the ghost of a former student who died mysteriously during a performance." Undeterred, they followed the music to the heart of the music hall. The door to the auditorium creaked open, revealing an ethereal glow that bathed the room in an otherworldly light. In the center of the stage sat a grand piano, untouched by time, and a spectral figure playing the melancholic tune. Sarah gasped, "Is that a ghost?" "We seeing a ghost right now." The apparition turned to face them, its eyes empty voids that seemed to pierce through their very souls. The piano continued to play, the haunting melody resonating with the emotions of the trapped spirit. Driven by a mix of fear and fascination, Alex stepped forward. "Who are you? What happened to you?" The ghostly figure pointed towards a dusty old portrait hanging on the wall. The group approached it and discovered a picture of a young girl, her eyes mirroring the emptiness of the ghostly pianist. The plaque beneath the portrait revealed her name, Eleanor Harper, a promising pianist who vanished mysteriously on Halloween night decades ago. As they uncovered the tragic tale, the temperature in the room plummeted. The ghostly figure reached out to them, pleading for release. Lisa, always the empathetic one, realized that Eleanor's spirit needed closure to move on. "We need to find out what happened to her," Lisa declared, her voice filled with determination. Armed with newfound purpose, the group delved into the school's archives, discovering old newspaper clippings and forgotten letters. They unraveled the mystery of Eleanor's disappearance, discovering that she had been falsely accused of theft, leading to her expulsion and subsequent vanishing. With the truth unveiled, they returned to the music hall. The ghostly piano fell silent as Eleanor's spirit stood before them. Gratitude filled her empty eyes as a warm light enveloped her, and the haunting melody transformed into a soothing, ethereal tune. Eleanor's spirit faded away, leaving behind a sense of peace. The atmosphere in the music hall changed, and the once creaking floorboards felt more stable beneath their feet. The friends left Ravenwood High, the ghostly tales replaced by the quiet serenity of the forest that surrounded the school. As they looked back, the moon cast a gentle glow over Ravenwood High, and a soft melody lingered in the air. a melody that whispered of closure and the harmonious peace that had finally returned to the haunted halls of the once cursed high school. Crestwood High, an imposing structure with ivy-covered walls and ivy-clad secrets, had long stood silent at the outskirts of the small town. Legend spoke of a mysterious student who had vanished without a trace, leaving the halls haunted by a spectral presence. The atmosphere thickened with anticipation as a group of friends decided to spend the night within its shadowy confines. Amy, the thrill-seeker of the group; Ethan, the tech-savvy skeptic; Olivia, the aspiring journalist always on the lookout for a story; and Ryan, the affable peacemaker, gathered at the rusted gates of Crestwood High. Armed with flashlights and a shared sense of curiosity, they stepped into the echoing silence of the forgotten institution. The moon struggled to cast its light through the heavy clouds that hung over the school, creating an almost tangible darkness that seemed to cling to the air. The friends navigated the dimly lit corridors, the echo of their footsteps amplified by the oppressive silence. Their first destination was the abandoned chemistry lab, where the mysterious disappearance of a student named Emily Turner had occurred decades ago. As they entered, the air felt charged with an unsettling energy. Broken glass and forgotten experiments told tales of a time long past. Ethan chuckled nervously. "You guys really believe in ghosts? This is just an old building falling apart." Olivia, always on the lookout for a good story, replied, "Maybe, but there's something about this place. People don't just vanish without a trace." As they explored further, strange whispers seemed to drift through the hallways. Amy's keen ears picked up on the faint murmurs, and she signaled the others to listen. The whispers grew louder, almost as if the walls themselves were telling a tale of sorrow and regret. Following the ghostly echoes, they reached the decrepit auditorium where the legend of Emily Turner reached its climax. A piano, dusty and forgotten, sat at the center of the stage. Amy, drawn to its melancholic beauty, hesitated before pressing a key. To their surprise, a haunting melody filled the room, echoing through the empty space. The friends exchanged bewildered glances as the spectral notes of the piano wove a story of loss and yearning. It was as if the instrument itself mourned the absence of its long-lost musician. Ryan spoke up. "If Emily's spirit is here, maybe she wants us to know something. Something left unsaid." Driven by a shared sense of empathy, they delved into the archives, uncovering newspaper clippings that detailed Emily's brilliance as a pianist and the tragic circumstances surrounding her disappearance. It appeared she had been the victim of a cruel prank gone wrong, leading to her untimely demise. Armed with newfound knowledge, they returned to the auditorium. The whispers intensified, and a ghostly figure materialized on the stage. It was Emily, her eyes reflecting a mix of sadness and gratitude. The piano continued to play, the ethereal melody wrapping around the room. As Olivia confronted Emily's spirit with the truth, a warm light enveloped the auditorium. Emily's spectral form began to fade, but this time it was not into darkness. Instead, it dissolved into a cascade of golden particles, leaving behind a sense of closure and peace. The friends exited Crestwood High, the oppressive darkness lifting with each step. The moon, now free from the clouds, bathed the school in a silvery glow. The legend of Emily Turner was no longer one of tragedy, but of redemption, and Crestwood High stood as a testament to the power of confronting the shadows that lurk within the forgotten corners of the past.